the Republic of Vanuatu. People here live their lives alongside the most powerful forces of nature. These 82 islands are also home to the most primitive tribal cultures in the world. Located to the east of Australia, Vanuatu is made up of 82 islands in the South Pacific Ocean, and its capital is Port-Vila. Located in the southwest of Vanuatu Island, this city, with a population of less than 50,000, is the largest in Vanuatu. There are no traffic lights here, but the roads can still get congested. Just a half-hour's drive away from this modern city, you can see a completely different aspect of local life. This is a folk customs village that teaches visitors about local tribal culture. Seaver is a full-time guide. As it's near to the city, the village has attracted a growing number of tourists. Seaver enjoys his job very much.
We are called Melanesian, dark-colored people, black. Well, people live in villages. A lot of us, we are born in villages, so most they live, born in a tribe and died in a tribe. Most of us, they live for their lives in villages. So I live for 40 years.
The indigenous people of Vanuatu are descendants of Melanesians. They have dark skin and curly hair. Today, about 75% of Vanuatuans still live in traditional tribes across the country.
Living in village is very simple. You only worry about two things: a place to sleep, like a house, and food in your stomach. And you enjoy your life. You're the boss. It's not time. So you do whatever you like. Make sure you got shelter and food makes you smile.
No one is ever starved in Vanuatu. There's an abundance of fruit and food everywhere. Banana and cassava are the staple food of the local people. In the Bislama language used by local people, Vanuatu means the eternal land. To this day, the people here still feel closely connected to their land.
Our capital, it's called port-vila. The way you might describe, it's very small, but that's our capital. Especially young people, sometimes they want to see the bright light, they go there. But in Vanuatu, you will never live forever in town unless you have a job. In the village, you do whatever you like.
In tribal life, people have to be self-sufficient. The men build houses, and the women do the knitting and cooking. Lap-lap is the most traditional dish in Vanuatu. Banana, tapioca, and coconut cream are mixed into a paste. The mixture is wrapped in banana leaves and baked on scalding hot rocks. After 2 hours, it's ready to be served. Everyone seems relaxed and happy here. For Vanuatuans, freedom is the greatest wealth. They may live on islands in the South Pacific, but that does not mean they are cut off from the world, as they have regular contact with tourists. Seaver and his colleagues are also very quick to learn new things. In this farewell ceremony, familiar melodies and joyful songs are sung to say goodbye to visitors from a distant land, China. This is the busiest vegetable market in the center of the capital. Like many farmers, Julia brings surplus vegetables from her fields to sell at the market.
Because we live in the village, we should use this when we brought them to the market.
The market may not be very big, but it has a large variety of fresh food. Scales aren't used at all, so there's never any danger of being sold short.
This banana is 700 Vanuatu. Here is 300 Vanuatu, 250, and manioc is 500, and champanas is 600.
600 Vanuatu is equivalent to about $6. The most popular products are coconuts and bananas, as they feature in almost every local dish. You can also buy ready-made lap-lap at the market. Although port-vila does not cover a large area, it has plenty of modern hotel facilities and high-end restaurants. Thanks to the growing number of tourists, vegetable farmers like Julia can earn up to $400 a day. Less than 300,000 people make up the total population of Vanuatu. Its 82 islands cover a total area of 12,000 square kilometers. Tanna Island is 549 square kilometers in area and located in the southern part of this Y-shaped archipelago. This island is famous because it's home to the biggest banyan tree in the world. Its root area is larger than a football field. Samuel is the warden of this banyan tree. He and his family have been looking after it for generations.
My name is Samuel. This is my driveway I used to grow. When I was a small one, my grandparents used to make garden around the banyan and look after the banyan. When I was a small boy, I used to climb and swing. When I grow bigger, and I am interested and experienced to swing and climb like monkeys.
Banyan trees are worshipped in some Vanuatuan tribal cultures. The trunk is tall and strong and can provide shelter. It's said that ancient tribal meetings were held inside these trees. Banyan trees grow at an amazing speed. The exposed roots stretch down into the ground, grow thicker, and keep expanding, finally growing into a massive body.
The measurement about the banyan is 200 meters across and 80 meters high. We don't have any scientists to give an exact age of the banyan, but just a rough imagination, we just get it from our grandparents to grandparents to parents, and we give a rough one about 800 years.
Vanuatu is hot and rainy throughout the year. Its tropical marine climate and fertile land provide excellent conditions for a large variety of plants. Tanna Island is proud of its giant banyan trees. But on the islands in the north of Vanuatu, the local people revere another kind of plant. The tolls of the church bell wake up the village every morning. A very special plant grows in the fields next to the village. It's the kava, a plant that is unique to the southern Pacific Islands. 26-year-old Joseph is the owner of this field.
This garden is for me. Yes, all of this cover and this one, it's about 7 years. But if the crown is very rich, you can get a big stem of the cover.
The numerous branches and leaves of the kava are removed to expose the root, which local people call the root that brings happiness. It's usually used to make a beverage, which has a relaxing and calming effect. For the local men, the day is not complete without a kava drink. Pentecost Island is the main kava-producing area in Vanuatu. Every day, Joseph digs up a kava from his field for juicing. This kava root will be enough to make juice for all the men of his tribe for one day. However, digging up the root is only half of the job.
One stem kava like this, when you harvest the kava, you can plant many new kava with a branch. We have about maybe more than 10 here branches of kava that you can plant new kava with again. With 20 branch of kava, you can plant around 100 or more than 100 one day. A new kava.
There's a time to plant and a time to harvest. In 2 to 5 years' time, these young plants will become fully grown kava, and the cycle will begin once again. At dusk, the men gather in front of the nakamul, as they do almost every day. There is a nakamul in every traditional Vanuatuan village. It's the place where tribal meetings are held and public affairs are discussed. It's also where kava drinks are produced and consumed.
People, when they go to the garden, come back with the one stem of the kava, so they have to come in the nakamal, so they have to come and cut the kava, wash the kava, and prepare the kava in the hood, and use the kava and drink the kava together. It's a sign of peace, respect to each other.
All the men of the tribe work together to produce the kava drink, but there is a strict order for its drinking. The chief of the tribe is the first to drink it, followed by distinguished guests. Everyone else then drinks in order of seniority.
More than 100 people in the village that they drink kava. And for the children, no, they don't have right to drink kava, and women also. It's only for the young men or for the chief and the others who drink kava.
According to tradition, women are not allowed to enter the nakamul, and only adult men can drink kava. The drink does not contain any alcohol and doesn't exactly look enticing. But soon after drinking it, the soothing and hypnotic effects of the rich, active substances in the stem and root of kava begin to take effect. The locals believe kava contains the secret of obtaining happiness.
Sometimes we take only one stem to drink, but the rest of the kava, we have to try it and sell it to some people who are buying the kava. The dry kava, some people they buy 3,000 Vanuatu for 1 kilo, and fresh kava that you harvest in the garden, some of them they buy 1,000 Vanuatu for 1 kilo.
Dried kava is the most expensive product sold on this land. Vanuatu has a 2,000-year history of planting kava. Today, local people still respect the kava drink and regard it as an essential element in traditional rituals, as well as the most precious gift. Located to the west of Pentecost Island is Espiritu Santo, the largest island in Vanuatu. This is Luganville, the economic and transportation center of the northern part of Vanuatu. Large amounts of expensive dried kava are gathered and sold in this area, which also handles 85% of Vanuatu's total exports. Espiritu Santo Island also abounds in dried coconuts and cacao. After ripe fruits are picked from trees, they will be processed and then transported to different parts of the world. The afternoon is the perfect time for enjoying Vanuatu's enchanting beaches. They are not exclusively for humans to enjoy. Sometimes, unexpected guests will wander by. Espiritu Santo Island is home to Vanuatu's largest cattle farm. Richie is a cowboy. His job is to take care of cattle on the farm.
Mivla stockman lo farm lo pesa mivla 6 everyone. Oplo mivlo start ite mol buluk lo patok next patok. Hey. Farm lo pesa mira na about semi 700 hectares. So every day mivla must walk around the full boundary. Make sure your buluk is safe inside na katuan ko na. Mivla pinimokata lo mersin, mivla katemol horn, ale all young bull, mivla kastre lo kata. Go, come on, totong.
This farm gives you a different image of the traditional cowboy. Driving cattle in this coconut grove is no easy job, but Richie and his partners show us the true meaning of teamwork.
Number 5 here na. Os milay isum stop pusumol buluk.
The woodland below the coconut trees makes for good grazing ground. Here, cattle obtain natural forage and in turn fertilize the ground. This is the most common operation pattern of the plantations on Espiritu Santo Island. After the cowboys complete their daily tasks, they take time to enjoy the sunset together with their horses. For them, a cool and refreshing bath at dusk is the best reward. In the local language, Vanuatu means the eternal land. At the beginning of the 17th century, the Spanish became the first to discover these islands and the primitive way of life here. In the 18th century, British explorer James Cook drew the first map of these islands and named them the New Hebrides. After 74 years of being colonized by the British and French, Vanuatu achieved its independence in 1980. Today, people can learn more about this country's history from its National Museum. According to archaeological research, the Melanesians currently living on the islands were originally immigrants from Southeast Asia. The resulting Lapita culture was probably the earliest civilization to take root on these islands.
If you read about the story of Lapita, the first people who come to Vanuatu, it is believed that we are migrated from Asia down to Vanuatu. That was 3,000 years before Christ. That's why if you go to different islands of Vanuatu, you see our cultures are very similar. Because the archaeologists believe that we are just one people moving from one place to another.
During the Neolithic Age, the Lapita people explored the oceans on canoes. They migrated between sea, islands, and lands, establishing different tribes and villages. Sand painter Edgar comes to the museum every day to teach his nation's history to visitors. Traditional costumes and the sand painting technique bring his illustrations to life. He's depicting a scene of two craftsmen making masks. The two men sit back to back, as neither of them wants to reveal the tricks of their craft. But when they finish making their masks and turn around, they find that their works are exactly the same, down to the last detail. The ancestors of the Melanesians did not have any written language. The ancient Melanesians used their fingers to paint on the land, sand, and volcanic ash. Sand painters record the stories that have been passed on orally for generations. They contain important information about their culture and tribal systems.
Our belief in the whole Vanuatu that we've been around somewhere, but it's very hard to be recording. But this is only one of our recording thing. It stays in a drawing.
Before the sun sets, Edgar paints on the beach with his finger. The paintings start with simple lines, then seem to travel through different times. In Vanuatu, people believe they all come from the same ancestor and became separated due to migration, but continue to live together on their eternal land. For them, sand paintings are like their language, carrying thousands of years of collective memories.